Hi, I'm Allison for Leading Edge Dog Show Academy, and today, as part of the equipment series, we are going to talk about wide tooth combs and fine tooth combs. So we're going to talk about them as they relate to coat type and when we're going to use them. So typically, a lot of people out there refer to these wide tooth comb as like a fluffing comb. So obviously our double coated breeds, we really want them fluffy, right? So we want them fluffy. So I'm always gonna have a wide tooth comb for this coat type. You don't want, sometimes even a fine tooth comb, you don't want to strip out undercoat in some areas. The only time I would use a fine tooth comb on this is maybe behind the ears, where the hair often is a lot finer. So double coat type, wide tooth comb. Again, drop coats, I'm probably using my wide tooth comb then because I'm just really using it to check my work. I don't really want to be pulling out too much coat, which is a danger with a finer tooth comb. So that is something to remember. Scissored coat type, wow. Using all my combs. So scissored coat type, again, I'm probably gonna start with my wide tooth comb. I'm gonna use it for a lot of fluffing and my first comb through. But then I am going to move on to my fine tooth comb, and I might even take it a step further and head on over to a finishing comb. So you can check out some of our other tutorials where we talk specifically about the scissored coat type and how incredibly important a finishing comb is and that ultra perfect comb out to get the perfect scissoring. But definitely when it comes to wide and fine tooth combs, I am using both of those on that scissored coat type, whether it's a Kerry, a Bedlington, a Standard, a Bichon, any of those, using both of those combs. Now, Setter Spaniels, I tend to use probably my fine tooth comb for most of them because you want those furnishings to look perfect. You're smoothing through the jacket. So, you know, I'm not really using my wide tooth comb for that. I find it just doesn't do enough detail work for me. I don't really want my Setters and Spaniels fluffy. I want them more to have that fine finish to their look. Smooth coated dogs, I do like a fine tooth comb for my smooth coated dogs, you know, just to kind of check everything. If I'm using the comb over scissor method, I'm using a fine tooth comb. So, you know, if I was going to use a fine tooth comb on a smooth coated dog, this would be the one it is. And lastly, wire coat type. Again, for me, the fine tooth comb, the wide tooth comb is just too wide for those wire coated types. It's really not gonna do enough. You're not gonna really see a difference. You might as well kind of use your fingers, right? So go ahead and get a fine tooth comb for that wire coat type. So here we are with our drop coat example, and I have a wide tooth comb. So on a drop coat, especially a rustic drop coat like we have here, I like this wide tooth comb. I'm always using a wide tooth comb to check my work pretty much on, you know, all the coat types. It just slides through the coat really easily. And this is what you want for this coat. You don't want a very fine comb for your general work because it's probably going to pull out undercoat in places that you don't want it, and there's just really no need for it. So if I was to use my fine tooth comb on this coat type, it would just be for that detail work around the head and eyes, maybe to do a little bit of back combing through the top knot. I might use it on the toes or in the sanitary area to really check that work and make sure I have all the knots and tangles out. But for the most part, I am going to be using this wide tooth comb on this coat type. Now, you know that when it comes to our scissored coat types that I'd like you to really pay attention to the comb out. I think the comb out for that coat type is almost the most important part of your groom. And for that, I do like what we call a finishing comb, right? So here we would have a wide tooth comb, and then here we would have a finer tooth comb that kind of has, you know, one side and then one side that is fine. This is different than a finishing comb. And if you want to check out our full tutorial on the perfect comb out, you can head on over there. There I recommend such finishing combs like the 507, the Jill, or some different Utsumi magic finishing combs and the like. So head on over there and check out that tutorial. All right, so when it comes to combs, obviously using like a wide tooth fluffing comb, like a lot of people will call these wider tooth combs a fluffing comb. Not a lot of fluff happening here on our wire coated dog. So really this comb isn't gonna do too much for you, right? So I'm gonna use a comb that maybe isn't a finishing comb, but has a finer side or even this very fine side. I would use the very fine side when I'm styling her face and her eyebrows. I'd use just the plain side, you know, when I'm doing any of her leg furnishings. But really the way you're going to make this coat look smooth and kind of see what's going on with her coat is when you are using a fine tooth comb as compared to the wide tooth comb. The wide tooth comb, just, you know, this hair is going to slip right through it. You're not even really going to see any difference when you are combing this coat all over. So when you're grooming a wire-coated dog, typically you do not need a wide tooth comb, you need a finer toothed comb. So whether you're thinking about a wider tooth fluffing comb or a fine tooth comb for your grooming, and you know what coat type you have, I hope that today's tutorial helped you out. Hey everyone, thanks for watching today's video. Please leave us a comment below, let us know what you thought, and as well, if you have any ideas for future content that you'd like to see, you can put them down there as well. You can head over to leadingedgedogshow.com where you can find our free, premium, and subscription content, and we'd love to have you join us there. As well, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications, that way you never miss another free video tutorial. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.